Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, so I'm here working at home, minding my own business, and there's this quote that comes through that Joe Biden has disparaged all of the Trump supporters out there, calling them garbage. Like, whoa! First off, that seems like really out of character for Joe Biden. So, it warranted further investigation. By the way, in that little cave right there, you might see a little white paw. Elle is kind of hanging out. So she might emerge, she may not emerge during this reading. Okay, so back to the garbage part here. And credit goes to George Conway, Kellyanne Conway's ex-husband. One of the founders of the Lincoln Project. I was watching a video where he was on a show and they took a call from a MAGA person, or a conservative as he was calling himself, who was upset about Trump supporters being called fascists, and then saying how Biden called Trump supporters garbage. And Conway's like, he didn't say that. And the guy was getting all aggro on it. He goes, no. Oh, she came out. The guy said, no. George Conway said, no, that's not what he said. You have to listen to the whole thing. So I'm going to play the clip for you. And what George Conway is trying to say is the word supporters, Joe Biden said it with an apostrophe S, the possessive, not supporters as a plural. So when he said the only floating piece of garbage I see is his supporters, apostrophe S, he meant the comedian. He didn't mean everybody who supports Donald Trump. So go ahead and listen to this clip right here, and you'll see what I'm saying. Especially George Conway was saying, you have to listen to the whole thing to take it in context. Here we go. Turn the volume up.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage.
A speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. That is the subject of what he's talking about now. I'll back it up again.
To do away with the birthright citizenship. Who the hell has said that in the last 100 years? And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
So when he's saying his supporters, he's talking about the comedian, not the 60 million people that voted for Donald Trump. Okay? So if you're if somebody you know is a Trumper and they hit you with that one about how Biden is divisive or something like that, you can give them an English lesson and explain to them that that's not what he was saying. He was supporters as a possessive, not supporters as a plural. Okay, public. My public duty is now done with this. But let's take a look at Trump supporters. And will Biden's comment even impact the election? One TikToker said, darn it, that Joe Biden, I'm not going to vote for him for president. Psych. Nobody's going to vote for the comedian for president. Nobody's voting for Joe Biden for president. So let's take a look and see the energy around the supporters versus supporters. Now, for those who followed near-death experience stories, one of the common themes of people that have an NDE when they go to the other side is that they claim that communication is via telepathy. They'll use the word that he said or she said, but they also explain that, mind you, no words are being exchanged. It's all telepathy. When you have telepathy, you understand the difference between supporters with an apostrophe S and supporters without the apostrophe S, because the intention comes through. Spoken words allow for misunderstandings. Okay, entertainment purposes only. Let's look at the energy around the garbage comment here, okay? Foundation of the reading is the Knight of Cups. It's interesting, right? Because let's just say I'm giving Biden way too much credit. First off, Biden was trying to say how Puerto Ricans in his home state of Delaware are good, decent people, not garbage like the comedian. The comedian's comments are garbage. But if you consider Biden to be a false friend and enemy, then you can take offense, clutch your pearls, and everything along those lines about Biden's comments. But it still serves a purpose, right? Because now, maybe you understand how the Puerto Rican people felt when their territory was referred to as a pile of garbage. They got demeaned as a group of people, and now the Trumpers get demeaned what they think. They think they were demeaned as a group of people, and they're all clutching their pearls. How horrible it is that a president says that. Well, how horrible is it that an ex-president who's currently running to be president has a comedian in his campaign with jokes that were vetted by his campaign, fed into a teleprompter, and said during the last Trump rally at Madison Square Garden, said a group of people were garbage. You know exactly how they feel now. That's supposed to help you develop empathy. So it cuts both ways. Crossed by the Nine of Swords. Here's your pearl clutching. I can't believe he said that we're garbage. He didn't. I don't believe him. He's mean. Well, then what the comedian said about Puerto Ricans was mean too, and now you know how they felt. These cards have a great symbiosis to them. That is fantastic. Underneath it all is the King of Pentacles. This is what you're going to get with Donald Trump. This is just, this is kind of like MAGA getting getting served to them what they dish out all the time. Trump has always encouraged them to punch down on people, to belittle people. And the minute they think they've been belittled, they're all hurt and they're all up in their feels. In the past, you got the Ten of Coins. All this is symbolic of, there's two things going on here. This is also could be your oligarchs, and I'll hit that in a moment because we're going to hit to the education system here. All this has to do with our DNA and our history. White men have always been at the top of the heap, and it goes down from there. Whether it might split off that white women are above minority men and women, or it could be that white men and all men are above all women. Right now they're trying to put all men above all women, and then white men are at the top of the heap, that type of thing. That's one thing with this. The other thing with this is how the education system has been denied funding, denied value over the generations, such that people are not good critical thinkers anymore. And they don't know that they need to listen to the whole story. They're used to getting the story told to them. They're not thinking for themselves. They're being spoon-fed, and they stop thinking for themselves. This is what American oligarchs want, because then they can tell people what to do and how to do it, because all these people cannot critically think. They only do what they're told. Current situation is the Queen of Cups. Either your feelings are hurt or they're not. Make up your mind. If you want to throw stones at glass houses, or if you want to disparage the libs, then when you get disparaged, you don't get the right to be upset. If you can't dish it out, if you can't take it, don't dish it out. That type of thing. Don't dish it out if you can't take it. So, Biden, I believe I've seen stories saying that he's tried to clarify his comments. The genie's out of the bottle at this point because the way the media ran with it. Now, if the media was responsible, they would have done the critical thinking for their constituents, their viewers, because that's what they've been doing. But they don't want to do the critical thinking on that. It's now a political football to be kicked around. Overarching energy is temperance. Also, Kamala Harris denounced Biden's comments, but I don't think she heard the whole quote in the context. And probably when she does, she might apologize to Biden or have a conversation with him afterwards about, if he had just said the only floating garbage out there is his comedians or his supporters' bad joke or some racist joke, then everybody would have understood what he was talking about. Now, got to be careful with your words. Overarching is temperance. This is for Joe Biden to insult all the Trump supporters would be way out of character. That's not who he's been. So it should lead to some skepticism, like, I can't believe he said all that. Well, when you finally hear the whole story, then you can say, oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense that he was using supporters as a possessive, because it fits the narrative, the subject of the paragraph. It fits his personality, and it fits all those boxes. The grammar, it fits. Biden's been a uniter, not a divider. So that's what also makes it look like it's a little bit out of context. But, right-wing media will spin it because they can, heaven forbid a MAGA person not be a victim, right? I got to be a victim. Where's my 8 of Swords when I need it? Will this make a big deal in the election? No, because guess what? The people who are most upset, they weren't voting for Harris anyway. Is he going to get them more motivated? Guess what? They were already motivated or demotivated. It's the case. This isn't really going to do much. There's just not going to be much there. The lesson we learned is the death card. You know what? And part of this is Kamala Harris's. We're not going back. When she is elected, when she wins this election and is elected, the drama, she's going to put a cap on the drama. There's going to be healing and detoxifying of things, and we're going to bring an end to the drama media that we've got going on. I fully expect her to go after the media to clean up their act and hold them accountable for spreading misinformation. Yeah, the outcome is the government. There's going to be government action, like, the fairness doctrine, where you have to present both sides of an argument or stuff like that. Stuff that went away in the 80s because it was convenient for the Republicans to spread lies, and it led to Rush Limbaugh. There's the gift that keeps giving. Ugh. I was thinking about that earlier today. My father, in his last few years on this earth, and he was pretty much chair-bound, I'd go over to the house, visit my mom and dad, and I'd be paying bills, and he'd be listening to a right-wing podcast. John Batchelor was one guy. There were like 3 people he listened to, and they all spouted the same garbage, and then they were all guests on each other's shows. It was ridiculous. And it's almost like, they were podcasting from the same studio, hanging around, listening to each other, then joining each other. And this was in the Obama's giving away the country type stuff. And I would look at my dad like, what are you talking about? And he couldn't give examples because all he was doing was parroting what he was hearing. And my father was a really intelligent guy. So it was really disappointing to hear him go down that path. And I hated going over there when he was listening to that stuff, because I even told him a couple times that this is just pure poison that he was listening to. My dad could usually get his passions up. And when he was much older and not well, he didn't have the energy to get angry. So he would listen to angry stuff. I don't get it. The outrage, all that outrage and drama. So unnecessary. Okay. Real quick. So is it going to impact the... Let's listen. Is it going to impact the election? Is Trump going to get more votes out of this because of supporters, plural, versus supporters, apostrophe S? The emperor, well, he's already the mad emperor, right? What do we got? The evaluation. How he's going to raise money off of it. I would be surprised. I should check my phone. I want to see if I got any Trump text messages trying to raise money off of this. Nope, just asking to send $15 to end Kamala's campaign. What will Trump do? He's going to celebrate this. Hey, look what they're doing. Give me money so I can win. Yeah, he'll grift off of it. He'll absolutely grift off of it. Is he going to win the election? Well, these are great cards. I'm going to win the election. I'm going to win the election. This is in the bag for me. I'm just waiting here. And I think he does. I think this thing shows 2 things. One, will he gain votes off of it? That's irrelevant. He's going to grift off of it. That's what he's going to do off of it. The other vibe I get from this is Here he is waiting for election day because he knows he's going to win. And boy, oh boy, is he going to go on a revenge tour. He's going to make a lot of money and go on a revenge tour when he wins. That's where his head is at right now. Okay? So, for those who say I'm biased, well, yeah, I am. Those cards are great. That's exactly what those cards say. The problem is that the Emperor is insane. He's not living in reality. He's not living in objective reality. And he's surrounded by yes men. So he believes he's going to win. I assure you he is not going to win. And if you agree with me, make sure you get out and vote. Vote blue down the ticket. Get like-minded people to vote blue down the ticket. Let's get this thing done. Not only should Harris be elected, but she should have a blue Senate, a blue House of Representatives, and an overwhelming number of popular votes for her. And if that translates to a massive electoral college win, even better. There's one other thing I want to say. I am a fan of Linda G and Sterling, as are many of you who watch this. And if you don't know who Sterling is, if you don't know who Linda G is, well, you're under a rock. Linda G, the Comanche Psychic, look her up. Sterling, Psychic Medium, was a guest on her channel, and he's well known in his own right. Sterling keeps seeing that Kamala Harris, it's close, but she gets over the hump. I'm thinking, with Sterling's prediction, it's always unnerving when Sterling predicts that. I'm thinking what Sterling is seeing, but has never been asked or acknowledged it or pondered this, is he's seeing her just barely getting over the 270 vote threshold. But what he doesn't talk about is, or nobody's asked him is that because there are states that she eventually wins that are being contested in the courts, so those electoral votes don't count yet towards the final total. See what I mean? Because let's say, the Republicans try and shut down all the swing states that the Democrats win. Well, if she gets Florida, it's going to kick her over the top anyway. So she'll be over 270 while the courts sort out what happens with the swing states. And then maybe eventually all the swing states go to her. And so instead of her having 280 votes, now when you get all 7 swing states and all their votes, it's like 350 or 360 electoral college votes. What we should ask him is, how many electoral college votes does he see Donald Trump getting? That would be a key one. Okay, so I'm going to end this reading here. Elle made an appearance. I'll give you a little view over there. Hello, little girl. Meow, meow, meow. You get your cat fix there. I'm not sure where Nico is. I think he's sleeping on a bed somewhere. As I record this at 6 o'clock at night on October 30th. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I do hope you find it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.